I'm concerned for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and I think everyone should be too. Now, I should be prefacing this that the game isn't out yet, and we've not technically seen everything of the game. There's still one more video to be released by Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG EU on Wednesday. But I think we can deduce enough from what we have seen and Konami's financial strategies in Duel Links to know what are going to be some huge red flags and what are things that have been very generous for the player base. Now, this isn't exactly a red flag. However, I just find it interesting the rarities. Like you have Blue Eyes White Dragon, that's ultra rare. Like if look at this screenshot right here. Look at that. All of that, from what I can recall, is a bunch of ultra rare and super rare cards, and it's a Blue Eyes deck. A Blue Eyes deck. I don't think it's the most competitive deck, and it's a bunch of ultra rares and super rares. That's insane. I find it very fascinating that it seems to be that they're doing some sort of obviously Duel Links related rarity system. And I mean, when I say that, it's not like obviously they're going to be using ultra rare, like super rare, rares, commons. But what I mean by that is the cards that are the rarities. It's not based on what I thought would be the actual kind of TCG and OCG rarities, where we have a bunch of reprints of one card, so it's going to be rare or maybe super rare. And then we have cards that aren't as reprinted that are ultra rare. But no, it seems to have transferred a lot of Duel Links rarities into Master Duel, which weird. I don't know if it's a red flag or concerning, but it's interesting. But it's not too bad of an egregious offense because of the fact that there is the crafting system. So all those bad ultra rares and super rares, you can get 3 of them, and then you can make one that you want. However, there's still some stuff that is uncraftable, apparently, which I find interesting. So I hope none of like the meta box that we've seen, that has like a bunch of meta cards in it. I hope that stuff isn't uncraftable. Like I hope that I can that to craft and craft cards to get those cards. But we'll have to just wait and see. They've not been too forward on that area, which is slightly concerning. But now, one of the biggest red flags that I see personally is that obviously a lot of things are going to be blurry in the videos that they've shown us because they want some surprises for when we play it, or they don't want to announce things until closer to time. So there is still that surprise factor. But some things that are blurred out concern me. If you look at the shop video, and a lot of this video will be talking about the shop because that is the most alarming and concerning features of Master Duel. If you look closely, it looks like something is blurred out. Now, I saw on Twitter that for like a single frame, you can see that there's like a clock icon on the left side of this blurred little icon next to the Yu-Gi-Oh box. And so that gets me thinking that these big selection boxes that, have these super meta cards in it are going to be timed events. And that is a huge red flag for me personally. That doesn't exactly bode well for, incoming players who miss the event or free to play players who can only grind so much and then also, don't want to spend anything on the game, so they miss out on some of the cards in the pack. Another concerning thing I've seen, and yes, before you say anything, the angle has changed. I'm now standing. All right. Anyway, another concerning thing I've noticed is that it just like Duel Links, it seems that like obviously the solo missions that you can get gems from, there are rewards for completing solo missions, but I don't know how much they're going to update those. I mean, Duel Links does a pretty okay job, but it's so weird. They're trying to balance this weird. We want this to be our online simulator game, but also almost obviously like some sort of gacha game. Because, of course, I know they need to make money, it's a business, but the game could have just been $40, $60, maybe, give or take, plus a bunch of cosmetics, big money cosmetics. And then they probably would have still made off like a bandit. However, they aren't going to do that because they can double dip what they're doing now. They can have this almost gotcha style with their card packs it feels like. Buy 10 packs, 1,000 gems, guarantee yourself, what is it, a secret rare or a super rare? I'm pretty sure. Now, you're probably going to get more than that in 10 packs, hopefully. But, the minimum is a guaranteed one. It feels so gacha like. And it comes across as so backwards when the initial intent was to make this their online simulator. Now, I know other TCGs have this kind of style with it as well, but it's just strange, coming from the unofficial simulators we have of, Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega, Dueling Book, all these free alternatives that have everything, and then going to this. It feels like stepping backward, even though for Konami it's going to be a giant leap forwards. They're probably going to make a ton of money out of this because people are going to spend a ton, especially if they actually follow through with giving prize support, casual and competitive play, which I'm sure they probably will. I doubt it'll be money because like that'll ever happen, but they will hopefully show some sort of support, probably dual points, gems, something like that. Now, I briefly talked on the cosmetics, but let's jump into it a little bit further. In the shop video, we see all the cosmetics are purchased, which is kind of a red flag because why don't they want to show how much they are or how you get them? It's concerning because are they going to be incredibly expensive? And your first thought would be, well, of course, they're going to be probably very, very pricey. $10, for one of the mates, as they called it, one of the people who sits on the side of the game while you're playing. But if that's the case, then why have the card packs be kind of pricey? I believe it's 100 gems per pack. Now, you might get a lot of cards per pack, hopefully, but it just seems so confusing to me. So I want to make a little addendum here. I just rewatched some of the shop footage because I was curious how many cards you actually get in a pack, and it seems that you get 8 cards in a pack, at least for like the super, like the meta pack that they were like advertising. Although again, it's probably going to be limited time, but still, that is to be said. 100 gems gets you 1 pack, which then gets you 8 cards. I don't know how that really will work out conversion wise. It'll probably be 100 gems is $1. I imagine something like that. 500 gems is $5, all that nonsense. But still, I mean, if you find that a good value, then go for it. But I think my point still kind of stands that it is fairly expensive, especially since Yu-Gi-Oh has like 10,000 cards or something, and it's all of them. You have to unlock almost all of them. You do have your story missions that unlocks decks, which I wish they showed off more of. They didn't really show off that many, like how many decks you unlock, how many story missions, which do go through the lore of Yu-Gi-Oh, which is pretty cool. But like I said, they don't show how many decks you're going to be able to get from that, how much of a jump start you're going to have in your card collecting career in Master Duel, just from the story modes, and how much of it will be purchasing. But yeah, I just want to make that little addendum before we continue the video. As this video wraps up, I just want to say that I am super excited for Master Duel, but I also wanted to take a critical look at some of the footage that we have, because I know it's going to be a huge thing in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, and I don't know about the gaming community in general, but I do know in the Yu-Gi-Oh community it's going to be huge. I mean, the first official online Yu-Gi-Oh simulator with guaranteed competitive and casual support, that's incredible. But I also, again, wanted to just see what they have shown us with a critical, semi-critical lens, because everyone just seems to be glossing over these, these red flags, and it just feels so off. Because obviously, when it comes out, it's going to cause this huge storm of people who want to play, and then get duped into some weird system where you got to purchase $10 cosmetics, pretty expensive card packs. You got to get all 10,000 of your cards back. They're all in different rarities. You have Sky Striker cards that are rares, but you've got, all these blue, like I said before, all these Blue Eyes cards that aren't meta at all, or, aren't incredibly meta, I should say, that are ultra rares and super rares. Granted, you do have Nibiru and Ash who are ultra rares, which those make sense. Those are, staple hand traps. But then you have all these other cards that just definitely shouldn't be that rarity, which, again, is a very bad thing because it takes up the rarity spots and means there's just going to be a bunch more super and ultra rares that are just going to be clogging up the game that you're not going to be able to get what you want. But again, on the other side of it, having only needing 3 super rares, so you get rid of 3 super rares, you can then get craft, from what we know, pretty much any super rare you want, which is good because that means you have all these fluff super rares. You can take 3 of those awful super rares that just don't matter and then transfer them to one that you really want. Again, I don't know exactly compared to other TCGs, especially online TCGs, how uh, giving this is, but it sounds pretty giving. Again, it is then balanced out by the fact that there are so many fluff rarities, but that is also Yu-Gi-Oh! The TCG in general. In boxes, there are just a bunch of secret rares and ultra rares that sometimes are just dead weight. But yeah, so I'm glad you guys hopefully enjoyed this video. Maybe you guys can take a more critical look at Master Duel coming out soon. I'm still obviously going to get it and play it because it is free to play, which again is a great strategy for them. I mean, it's just great because, you see Nim Nim, you see Simo doing some sort of community tournament, if those are even a thing that you can do in the game, or just a tournament in general with, Duel Room. You say, you know what, I want to join it. Why not just get it? It's free to play. I'll just download it right now so I can play with them. Is almost everyone in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, I imagine that's big, especially that has, an actual community behind them, is 100% probably going to pivot the Master Duel when it comes out, because it's going to be a huge thing for the Yu-Gi-Oh community. So they're going to try to get on that as quick as they can, and I can't blame them. I mean, it is exciting. So it's not like they're doing it just for the attention or just for the, the clicks or whatever. It is genuinely exciting, and a lot of us have wanted this for a long time. But it also brings something else to light, which I'm not going to speak on too much because I don't play this game. Well, this upcoming game I'm going to talk about. I do play Yu-Gi-Oh! But what's going to happen to Duel Links? Anyway, thank you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like down below. Leave a comment what you also agree with or disagree with. Are you super excited for the game? Are you not very excited? Are you concerned like me? Or are you just looking for a great time with this game coming out, which again, can't blame you for it. It does look visually great, and they've been managing it fairly well. All right. You guys want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh content or Pokemon content or even Smash related content? Subscribe down below. Ring that notification bell, all that fancy